Operation Jasper Heart. Intel has determined that the terrorists are using a warehouse in Palermo, Sicily to store chemical weapons. Local police and Interpol agents have already been repulsed from the site, and some have been taken hostage. You are to rescue the hostages and eliminate any resistance you find.
The target this time is Palermo, Sicily, and we're on the clock. Sweeney will give you the backstory on why we're going in here, but the short version is that the tangos you took down in Milan were not operating alone. Some of them had ties to our old friend Nicola Gospic, who was responsible for all the unpleasantness last time around. Even if he's dead and his sidekick Gutierrez is in jail, it appears some of his followers are still out there and kicking, and they're following his blueprint for action. What we've got is a warehouse that, according to Intel, is chock full of chemical weapons. Interpol went in with local police expecting to find a run-of-the-mill smuggling operation, and instead found themselves facing heavily armed opposition. There are officers down and there are officers taken hostage, and we're going to get them out. The complex has levels both above and below ground. Fortunately for us, Intel turned up blueprints of the site, which we'll be using to our advantage. You'll be able to assault from two directions. The first is via a large basement air shaft which vents to the outside. The second is through an old service gate in the perimeter wall. From satellite reconnaissance photos, the gate looks like it's overgrown. With luck, our targets aren't paying too much attention to it. We have no idea how many tangos are inside, and there are some long sight lines inside the complex. That means you could be under sniper fire both along the perimeter of the plant and through the basement loading docks. Be careful and watch your backs. It's a maze in there.
Things have gotten very interesting indeed. Once the dust settled in Milan, we were able to link up with Interpol and do a little research on our art thieves. It turns out that swiping paintings and ambushing police convoys is just a sideline with them. Of the few we've been able to identify so far, it helps with the dental records if you're not quite so good with the headshots, by and by. Most have a list of convictions as long as your arm, and at least 3 have ties to an organisation we all thought we were rid of, the little cadre of neo-fascists you dealt with in Rio. We're doing follow-up now, but it seems that their head man and his friend Gutierrez put sleeper cells in place all over the world before setting his plan in motion. If that's the case, we have some idea of what we're up against. And that brings us to Palermo. Interpol used some of the shipping manifests you recovered in Port Alegre to pinpoint this site as being an hub for arms smuggling. They went in this morning with local police backup and walked into an hornet's nest. It looks like Gospic's people, or someone very much like them, was expecting their aid and laid an ambush. It also appears that there's more than guns in that warehouse. There's a cache of nerve agent as well. Intel suspects that it was headed for Brazil when you hit the warehouse. That doesn't make it any less deadly, however. By the way, we took another runner with Gutierrez back in Argentina. We even offered to cut his sentence if he told us where the rest of his friends are and what they're up to. He just laughed. Either he's mad, or he knows something we don't.